Live. You're listening to Live with Men, the podcast.
So karibu sana kwenye Men, the podcast. Asante sana kwa kusikiliza kwa muda wote ambao umekuwa unasikiliza. Mimi naitwa Michael Baruti. Nadia is here. How are you?
I'm great.
Working on a public holiday. By the way, kama unasikiliza, we are recording this on the 14th of October. Nyerere Day. A public holiday in Tanzania. Tuko ofisini kwa Nadia. Na kama unasikiliza ujui, on the 13th of October, imenyesha mvua kubwa sana Dar es Salaam. So wengine wamelala ofisini. Are you one of those people?
Hell no.
Yeah, Nadia didn't go to work at all, man. It pays kwa your own boss. So kama unasikiliza for the first time, which I doubt, but if you are, inawezekana ikawa ndio. Nadia is a therapist ambaye tunakuwa naye kwenye Men, the podcast, kuleta professional point of view ya yote ambayo tunadiscuss. Maana bila hivyo vinginevyo tutakuwa tunapiga tu blah blah tu, and that is not what we want to do. You can catch up kwenye Instagram na Twitter @mindmatterstz and then kwenye bio there's a link itakupeleka moja kwa moja kwenye website yake, and then you can book sessions if you want. Unaweza kuongea naye cause nasisitiza tena guys, fellas, kings, wakulungwa na majina yote ambao wanaume tunaitana huko mitaani. You have to take care of your mental health. It is super important. I cannot stress enough, yeah? Otherwise, just unaweza kupata kwenye Instagram @menthepodcast and on Twitter @menthepodcast. So, drum rolls. Today, bwana, leo we are blessed, bwana. Tupo na moja kati ya smartest minds we have in Tanzania, I would say. Yes, bwana Mike Mushi. We are honored to be in your presence, Mike.
We are grateful to have
you. We are
you.
grateful to have you here, Mike.
Why you make me feel this great?
You are great. You are the great. Kwanza kuitwa Mike, manake you are great. Just kuitwa Mike. You are. There is some greatness inakuja na hilo jina.
So, are we great together?
Yes, we are. There is some greatness that comes with that name. You know?
Then I think I'm honored to conversate with the greatness.
You see? I don't know about Nadia, but I hope since she's part of this conversation.
Well, as long as she's in the room,
as long as you're with us.
Yes.
you are with us, it's greatness.
Yes, we will spark a little bit of that in you as well.
It's contagious.
It's contagious, it is.
I'm riding the wave.
Yeah.
Yes, so watu ambao mjapata watoto mkarika watoto wa kiume iteni Michael. That's just a free advice. Please take it. Yeah, tuko na Mike Mushi na watu ambao tuko kwenye mitandao ya kijamii, tunamjua Mike Mushi, especially kama tunatumia Twitter, tunatumia Instagram. Kama uliwahi kutumia Jamii Forum, then definitely this is one of those guys ambao walihusika sana kwenye kuitengeneza Jamii Forum na kufika hapo ilipofika. So yes, na tuko na Mike Mushi leo tunataka kuzungumzia kitu ambacho wanaume wengi sana tumekuwa either washikaji au hata ambao tukikutana nao wanakuambia swala la role models. You know? Kwa Kiswahili sijui kusema role models tunaiwekaje? Watu ambao ni mifano ya kuigwa.
Nafikiri kwa Kiingereza wanasema ni watu ambao wana mifano ya kuigwa katika jamii au wamefanikiwa, ambao watu wadogo wanaweza wakaiga tabia zao.
Hiyo ni kwa Kiingereza. Kwa Kiswahili
Kwa Kiingereza kwamba the people ambao the behaviors and success can be admired na watu wadogo, kitu vinaweza vikafanyika na watu wadogo. Yani wakimwangalia yule, there's a pathway, anaweza akawa yule.
Blueprint. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, tuko na Mike Mushi na
so yes, sasa kwa sisi nafikiri we have hatujafanikiwa kucontextualize kwa mazingira ya Tanzania inamaanisha nini. Kwa hiyo I think tumechanganya kati ya watu maarufu na watu ambao ni role model.
There you are. Hapo ndio tunapotaka kuanzia, na nataka tuanzie kwa sababu I think a couple days ago kwenye social media kulikuwa kuna maongezi makubwa, naweza nikasema mjadala mkubwa sana kuhusiana na swala hilo, na so tuko katika kipindi ambacho cha campaign sasa hivi. Kwa hiyo kuna conversation nyingi ambazo zinaendelea kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. So naona kulikuwa kuna swala moja, nadhani kama unafuatilia tunajua kilichotokea Nigeria. Kuna hashtag inaitwa #EndSARS. Yeah. Ambapo SARS ni wale, yani kama polisi, yani in short ni kama police brutality kwa wananchi. Kwa wananchi wakaingia mitaani na kusema kwamba maandamano yalikuwa ya amani tu, ya kusema kwamba hii sio kitu ambacho tunakitaka kitokee. Na conversation ilikuja kwa sababu kuna wasanii wakubwa wa Nigeria kama Davido na Wizkid, na wenyewe walikuwa involved kwenye pressure, and walikuwa involved kwenye movement. So kuna conversation kubwa sana Twitter kuhusiana na wasanii wetu na wenyewe kuingia kwenye yani kutokea kuzungumzia kuhusu social justice. And then nadhani baada hapo ndio ikaja conversation ambayo naileta wewe kwamba between celebrities and role models.
Yes.
Kwamba watu wanaona kwa sababu you're a celebrity then you have to be a role model, uwe mfano wa kuigwa. Do you think ni moja kati ya vitu ambavyo sisi Watanzania especially tuko kwenye social media tunachanganya sana?
Kabisa, tunachanganya kati ya watu maarufu na watu ambao ni role models, watu ambao wana tabia za kuigwa katika jamii. Bahati mbaya tumechanganya hawa watu wawili. Kwa hiyo mtu ambaye ana tabia ya kuigwa katika jamii, ina maana ile ni tabia yake, ni maisha yake, ndivyo alivyo. Umaarufu unakuwa ni bonus kwa sababu watu wanapenda ile tabia. Na pia sisi pia tusijidanganye sana, ni kwamba watu wengi maarufu pia wana tabia ambazo sisi tunazipenda. Yes, I think inaongelea zaidi kwamba kwa nini hatuna madaktari maarufu lakini tuna watu ambao celebrity maarufu kwa sababu ya tabia zao. These are things that we like, so we celebrate. Kwa hiyo sasa tunapocompare let's say in Nigeria na Tanzania, kwamba kule wasanii wamekwenda wameshiriki katika hayo maandamano. Ni kweli Nigeria palikuwa pana kikosi ndani ya jeshi la polisi kinaitwa SARS ambacho kimekuwa of course kinalipwa vizuri, kina magari, kina vyombo, kina silaha, kifanya mauaji mengi sana in Nigeria. Kwa hiyo karibia kila mtu Nigeria anayo historia na SARS, either kwa familia au wao moja kwa moja. Kwa labda hivi vile wao kutoka kwa sababu kila mtu ana historia na wale.
Kwa kila mtu alikuwa ameguswa kwa namna moja au nyingine.
Na kuna kule kwa kuna roadblocks kila mahali by sana. Sasa sababu usiku Lagos ni shida. Kwa wasanii inabidi wawalipe SARS ili waweze kulindwa. Unajua kule watu wanatekana sana. Kwa hiyo unakuta msanii na payroll ya SARS ya milioni 25 kwa mwezi. Ndio maana wanahaga nyumbani au outside of Nigeria. Yaani wasanii wa Nigeria wanakula bata wakija Tanzania, wanakula bata kwenda UK, lakini
not in Nigeria.
Because there's you have to have SARS in your payroll. Kwa wao wasanii pia ni moja kati ya watu ambao ni wa,
so it was personal.
It was personal for them.
Okay.
It was very personal. You know, their motorcade unakuta David anaendesha gari na pia mabegi ya SARS moja mbele mawili nyuma.
Hapo lazima walipe.
Lazima walipe. So there's the level of SARS in terms of wasanii na nchi, and it's very deep. Yes, kwamba wao wanaona ni jukumu lao wao kwenda kufanya. Kwa hiyo tunachanganya kwamba mtu ataandamana atatoka kwa sababu ni kitu ambacho kweli anakiamini na kweli anaguswa nacho. So hicho. Lakini sisi hapa tunachanganya kati ya watu maarufu na watu ambao wana tabia nzuri na mfano katika jamii.
Okay, now that is out of the way, tumeelewa. Let's talk about you, Mr. Mushi.
Yes.
At 16, what did you do?
So I think tofauti na watu wengi, sisi na familia yetu au mimi na ndugu zangu, we had a very different upbringing. Ambayo by then maybe
you're the firstborn.
Yes. Okay. By then maybe tulikuwa tulalamike because it wasn't haikuwa inafanana na wengine, lakini we had a very strong right now ukiniambia I would say a very strong father figure ambayo kwake yeye watoto wake was like a full time job. And he had very extremist ideas, very 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 big, of who we are and who we're supposed to be. Kwa hiyo that had it had forced us to live maisha ya utu uzima kwa tukiwa wadogo sana. So labda kwa mfano how extremist that is. So tumeza la sasa, we went to a good school in Arusha in Ginekas, class 7. Akasema mangi, unajua kusoma, unajua kuandika. That's the key of success in your life. School ends here.
Standard 7.
Nisa kama nimefeli, mimi nimefaulu. Nimechukua kwenda technical school. Very flying colors. Ukitaka kwenda shule, jipeleke mwenyewe. Tafuta hela yako. And mimi kukusaidia here is the computer, here is the internet, vitabu hivi hapa, everything is here. Everything you want to do to succeed in your life, kiko hapa. So if there's anything you want me to help you in this area, mimi niko tayari. I'm not paying for school. Tajilipia mwenyewe, tafuta hela yako kajilipia. Tunapata shule sana. Jilipie. So we had access to computer very, very, very young age. I think 9, 10. No, by 10 we had internet at home. Sisi tulikuwa tuna DSTV, lakini kwa tuna internet nyumbani. So by primary school, standard 5, ambao nasoma primary school, tukwambia I had the best lyrics book. Because I used to Google. Kwa hiyo
ukijana shule watu wanakuwa mbaya sana.
Mbaya, ilikuwa kitabu cha lyrics nzuri kuliko watu wote. So mpaka leo watakwambia, you know, tutoka cha nyimbo kilikuwa mama,
maneno ya Kiingereza yakose.
Wow. So it was that. So the things that I did at that time, kwa sababu hiyo, so I did so many things at a very young age. So at 7 mimi saa 7 the next day mimi niko nyumbani full time with my computer. Kama so kutafuta kazi. So we did that. I did, you know, so stock market trading, super hapo, forex, ikashindikana.
Forex at 37. Kwa hiyo hizi talks za forex sasa hivi unacheka. Okay,
that was very, very long time ago. I was working 2004. And nyingi sana. Ndio vilikuwa kuja na plan jamani, mimi this is the way to go. Sawa. Mimi nipoteza hela yake. Sasa nikitaka kusikia tena. And then I moved into masuala ya website. So I think by 2014 I was making websites za kampuni za rafiki na wabangu.
At 14.
Kabisa nyingi za Arusha, triple A, very, very. Wanalipa. I earn my money miaka hiyo. Kwa hiyo it's a very different upbringing. Of course, that also comes with consequences. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Mental health is a very big piece of maisha yangu kila siku. Kwa hiyo it's a very upbringing. So in terms of role models, yes, I used to read Forbes magazine. So I used to like Bill Gates. Nimefuatilia sana Steve Jobs. I know the story kwa kichwa. These people I was aspiring to be. And because they made so much money in the stock market, we thought stock market was very good also make money. So baadaye vitu vikabadilika, reality check. Okay, this is possible, this is not possible. This is possible, this is not possible. Lakini I would say with who I am today has so much to do with what my father used to do, his characters.
Moja kati ya vitu ambavyo as fellas, as guys, we rarely internalize upbringing yetu, you know? Yani mimi sijawahi kukaa nikafikiria nikasema mzee alifanya hiki na hiki na hiki kwa ina impact yake hiki na hiki na hiki. We rarely do that. Na I think I could be wrong here. Najua utanisaidia ukiona nisije nikadanganya umma. My reputation is at stake here. But ikitokea kwamba tunapoanza kusaka role models, mtu akakwambia role model wangu kwanza mimi atakuwa mzazi wangu. You know? Watu wanasema inatakiwa iwe, which I'm sure by now nimekuwa nasema it doesn't have to be. But inawezekana mzazi wako sio role model wako vile vile. It's highly possible. But moja kati ya vitu ambavyo wanaume waga tunasema tukizungumza ni kwamba we do not have role models. Yani people we look up to, most of us, that we can relate with. Mtu ambaye kweli namwangalia katika maisha yangu hapa anapitia struggle ambazo ninazopitia, the person that I can relate with ambaye anafika, we do not have that, a lot of guys, so tunakosa guidance. Do you agree with that as well?
So I think there's a very big difference of what maybe role models are supposed to do to you, or is it mentors, is it coaches? I think tuna mix sana hawa watu watatu na roles zao. Ni kweli, unajua mtu ambaye ana uwezo ku influence wewe na tabia zako haraka ni mzazi wako, not people karibu, because you emulate what they do with or without knowing. So they affect the kind of environment you grew up to, the kind of music you listen, the kind of cars that you like, you know. And these things they get to subconsciously kutokana na yale mazingira. So maybe I think to me the biggest question I always ask myself ni kwamba sawa, if I'm not to all these techie things ningekuwa nani, because I don't know, because then these things are just there. mbele. So kwamba niliambiwa shika computer lisome. I think the first 2-3 years of my life na computer was playing games, and then games unachoka. Then internet came. The internet was fascinating, and then I would explore, I would read, and then the lesson is paka leo I have a game. I think maybe the last time I watched my Xbox is like 3-4 months ago. You know, so there's things ambazo zina kushape, and most of it zina mzazi ana influence kubwa sana. And a very big influence, either to shape you to like to being a doctor or to shape you to like computers by fabricating the environment. You know, anapakia pale computer, anapakia pale we have CD players, we have CD, we have nini zimewekwa tu zipo na zinaharibiwa. So kwamba you might say kwamba computer ilikuwa inafanya kazi siku zote. Hapana, computer haifanya kazi, inaharibika. Mangi computer itakuwa ifanye kazi. Kitabu hili hapa, fix it. By the time tumeshinda fundi anagusa tu kidogo. Anasema hichi tu ndio wakati ni mshangaika. So I think yes, there's one role that the parent has a very big role to contribute into what kind of settings. And still then in terms of role models, yes, you'll be very lucky if your parent is that environment enabler and then at the same time a role model. And you'll be extremely lucky.
But Nadia, is it not subjective?
How exactly? What do you
in the sense that, because I like to think about wazazi wengi wants what's best for their kids. You're getting my point now. Kwa hiyo tunaposema subjective ni kwamba
on the one who is being perhaps encouraged or motivated, inspired. Yes. It is very subjective. So unajua we're all tunazaliwa na temperaments tofauti na pia our preferences, our likes and dislikes. We kind of build them along the way, and parenting has a strong hand in that because of the environment they expose us to, the activities they expose us to. There are some kids who grow up wanting to be soccer players just because their parents, from a young age, that's all they knew. Lakini kuna wengine their temperament just doesn't go. Let's say your personality type haiendani na hiyo activity. Maybe you're an extroverted person, so perhaps and this is a stereotype, but I'm going to use it. A lot of people who are techies are introverted. They like their quiet time, they like their space. They don't like being overly stimulated by others.
Are you one of those people?
I'm a mix between an introvert and extrovert.
Like an ambivert.
Yes, ambivert. So it depends. So
you guys are using big words. Kumbukeni tunaongea na watu wa kawaida. Nimekusamea kwenye extrovert na introvert, but I'm sure ni maneno now ambivert now. What is that?
It's a mix of two. So your extrovert is a bit different. Kwa mfano, maybe I would enjoy having a conversation with 5-6 people drinking, but having a conversation, not really being in a bar with a loud noise and every loud noise. So maybe put a muziki somewhere low, let's drink, let's have a conversation. For me, that is fine. I think kuna mwingine, he enjoys that energy, that kelele, that kurukaruka. Without that, he's not getting it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's something that's innate. Your parents don't really, they have a hand. Kwa sababu there's always kuna nature na kuna nurture. Kuna vitu ambavyo unaingia navyo duniani na vingine ambayo your parents through the environment, through their temperament, through their parenting style wana influence pia. Lakini there is that strong nature element kwamba unaingia into the world with set characteristics pia. Na watu wengi it becomes subjective in that case kwamba perhaps the parent is an extrovert and maybe the activities or the environment they create does not go with your innate personality. And so that is when now kunakuwa na conflict. Ambayo now children are like, okay, they seek external role models, or they just, whatever environment the parents create, it doesn't influence them positively. Inakuwa a burden in a sense. Yeah, so it is quite subjective, but it plays a big role because it's what you're exposed to. Whatever you do in your life, the career path unayochagua, one way or the other, lazima umejifunza kuhusu your career somewhere. Unajua, like me, I went into psychology kwa sababu kakangu mkubwa sana alisoma psychology. I was exposed to textbooks and all this material. So from the reading, I was intrigued.
And you're like, this is what I want to do.
Exactly. But if I wasn't exposed to that, labda ingenichukua muda mrefu zaidi kujua kwamba this is what I want to do. Au nisingeishi hapo kabisa kwa sababu there was somewhere along the way nilikuwa nataka kuwa daktari. kwa sababu mama yangu alikuwa anataka niwe daktari.
Yes.
You know, so
it's very, you're very lucky if you have the two.
Exactly.
Luckily, then again, you could always find external role models. But then again, I think in the process, do we have role models who have behaviors that we can emulate and actually reach there? Because some of our role models that we have as role models, really, they're just
not role models.
They're just really famous people who are rich.
You cannot say Jay-Z is your role model. Jay-Z could be a role model.
Okay. For what?
He grew up from nothing. He came from massive projects.
A lot of people go from nothing.
Don't make me. Hey, no, why you getting personal with me right now?
And these are just famous people that you like.
Yeah. But imagine come at Jay-Z when he beat up Solange in the elevator.
No, he got beat up.
He got beat up.
Yeah.
For what? For cheating.
We do not know what's on the elevator.
You know.
We don't know. Kulikuwa hakuna sauti kwenye elevator.
Yeah. So as Mike is saying, kuna role model wengine ambao ndio wameachieve, perhaps wewe unataka kuwa an astronaut, afu yeye ni astronaut.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Lakini ana tabia zake ambazo sio tabia za yani they're not admirable habits or behaviors. You know, so kuna muda mwingine most role models hawajui the path, the exact route that they used. Wao unaona tu kafikia hapa, unaziona tabia zake kwa sababu you can't really hide your habits.
Kwa sababu wana hela ndio maana wanakuwa role models. So you say kama role model.
Ani ukweli.
Angekuwa hana hela, angekuwa ni kama wale DMX wa zamani na maisha yake ambayo hana hela. Angekuwa role model.
That's very true what you say. So tuache kujidanganya kwa hilo.
Kwa kuchanganya watu wenye hela, watu wenye maarufu kama role models.
Exactly.
And I think that's the biggest misconception. We make there very few rich people who are actually role models, and the ones that are role models are not in the media.
Mike, who's your role model? Umetuambia mkono unasoma Bill Gates and Forbes, and I will ask Nadia too this question because clearly wa kwangu mmemtoa.
Yes, kabisa.
I'm not, but I get over it.
Kabisa. So, and to me, so the last 5 years I got so much time to spend with the late Reginald Mengi. So to me that was my role model.
He
was by the time, you know, I have spent time with him.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't so superficial. I've learned a lot. So of course it was famous for Takwa, but I think the time I got to know him as a person, we have had conversation. Yeah, we want to expose Masola Twitter. He was very twitchy with technology. So we had conversations, and I, you know, put in some few differences of mine, and he would, you know, narrate it very well. And yes, to me, I would say after spending time with him for 5 years, he is a lot of things that he has done, a lot of things that he has, you know,
influence. Yes.
Kwa wewe unaongea na Jay-Z kila wiki.
Tumeshakubaliana.
So yeah, like bado I also have people international that they are role models to me on different areas. So you know, for example, when Buffett has a partner anaitwa Charlie Munger. He's a very good guy when it comes to investment because he has been able to simplify investment, not in numbers, but in actual psychology and history. The more you succeed in life, so you kurealize kwamba maamuzi yako ndo yanachangia wewe kufanikiwa. Na ili kuweza kujua maamuzi, you have to know psychology. And this also inakuja kwa masuala ya biashara na uwekezaji. Unajua unashangaa kwa mfano. So in business, kwa mfano leo hii nataka kuanzisha biashara ya nguo. Kwa nitakwenda na search maduka yote ya nguo auza nguo shilingi ngapi. Hizo nguo 10,000, 30,000 mpaka 40,000. Afu hizo nguo na mimi nilipata quality hiyo. Kwa mimi naamini kwamba ili niweze kupata wateja, hizo nguo zangu ni shilingi ngapi niziuze?
Tufikie ushushe bei kidogo.
Kwa kama hizi za 20,000 niuze 18,000, 15,000. Ndio. Kwa nitafungua duka langu, nitauza nguo zangu 15,000. Zile ambazo Nadia anauza shilingi 40,000. Nikaamini kwamba wateja wataona nguo 40,000 na hii 15,000. Watakuja kwangu kwenye 15,000. Lakini wewe bado 15,000 pia hutouza. Watu bado wataenda kununua za 40,000
kwa Nadia.
Kwa sababu mteja anasema kama hiyo nguo ina thamani sawa na Nadia 40,000, lakini wewe unauza 15,000. Nadia anauza 40,000. Yako wewe ina matatizo, ndio unauza 15,000. Kwa hiyo kwa sababu mimi naamini kama ingekuwa na thamani kama hiyo kama Nadia ningeuza 40,000. Kwa hiyo saikolojia inasema ukitaka kupingana na mpinzani wako kwenye biashara, uza kitu bei kubwa ili cha kwake yeye kionekane kionekane fake.
Kwa kibongo tunasema
Fake, kionekane fake. Useme kile ni fake. Hichi ndio chenyewe.
surprisingly that works.
That's psychology.
Yeah. It plays on your mind.
It's part of it. It's psychology. It has nothing to do with having the best MBA. Nothing to do with the best MBA. So this guy has, he has perfected psychology very well.
Ndio maana tunajazana sehemu unazouza bia shilingi 5,000.
Exactly.
Wakati tunasema kidogo za 1,500.
Yes, it's the same thing. It's purely psychology. It has nothing to do with you being the best business person. Nothing to do with it. So, yes, in terms of investing, that is the guy. There's one Antonio Dario, Nae. It's very good principles about life and work. So I have like different role models in different aspects of things that I want to.
But at a personal level, you have one.
So that I've been struggling with. Kwa sababu I think we have different, very, very different path. I think it's what society inakwambia huyu ndo mtu mzuri. So kwenye hapo nimefikia kujiambia kwamba the personal life, what I would want to achieve is being a great dad. Because I think to me that's something that is achievable.
But what makes a great dad?
I think just spending time with the kids. There's nothing else.
Being present.
Being present.
I'm learning, Nadia. I'm learning.
Yeah, how can you get there? Even give it one point, because they learn from you.
Yeah.
So I would like them to learn from me, and that is maybe because there's so much stereotypes of who a good man is that we forget who Mike or who Michael is, and I think that's very important. How do you have that confidence? Me, Michael, and then because you will transmit that. Nafikiri kutokana na what you're facing right now, your background, things that you believe in. I mean, it's very hard to get a person kama Mike afu nisema okay, wewe utanielewa. So with that, I think nimeona kama sawa. It's a preference. It's never hakuna nzuri wala mbaya. So kila mtu ana haki ambayo inafanya kazi kwake. So what's yours? What works for you? Because the moment we stop chasing what looks good kwa mtu mwingine, the more we look inwards. And the moment you realize, okay, sawa, jitafutie ambacho kinafanya kazi kwako. And then amplify that.
Nadia, do you think as humans, and I know talk about men, but do you think as humans tunatumia excuse ya kusema hakuna role model? Do you use that saying kwamba hakuna role model as an excuse for us to get away with something about tunaona ni lawama kwetu for vitu ambavyo any mistakes au vitu ambavyo tunavifanya, tunaishia kusema kwamba hatakuwa na watu waliotufundisha, waliotuongoza vizuri? Do you use that as an excuse?
Well, sio tu kuhusu role model. Kuna mambo mengi. Humans we perfect making excuses. Unajua kwa sababu the one thing you make an excuse when you personally do not want to take the initiative or the action. Unajua that's when mtu anatoa excuse. So that could be one of them. Kwamba hamna mtu naweza nikamwangalia ambaye anaweza akaniguide. Lakini as Mike said, before someone can actually guide you, inabidi wewe ujitambue wewe ni nani. And ujijue mimi tabia zangu ndo hizi, malengo yangu ndo haya. This is the type of human being nataka kuwa mtu fulani. And then that will guide you sasa kutafuta huyo role model ambaye yuko in line na wewe values zako. Kwa sababu huwezi tu leo kamwangalia Nadia ukasema Nadia is my role model, lakini wewe hujitambue wewe unataka kuwa mtu wa aina gani. Kwa sababu if you don't know that, then you will just be swayed. Unaweza leo kamwangalia Nadia uka behave and act like Nadia, and then it doesn't feel right. Unaona hii haini fit. Ukamwangalia kesho Mike uka act and behave like Mike, and then along the way unaona okay, this doesn't fit. So unakuwa like a puzzle piece and you don't know where to place yourself, which is okay, lakini muhimu kujua kwanza this is the piece that I am. Do I have shapes that are pointing outwards, or do I have those holes that are inward? Ili unajua sasa unataka kujifit wapi. And you can make those mistakes kwamba okay, hapa nimemfuatilia role model huyu but I'm not the piece that fits here. and then ukaangalia huko, you know, or our role models ndo wakawa hao hizo pieces sasa. Sometimes tunatumia excuse because it's easier for me to say hamna mtu ambaye naweza nikamwangalia anaweza anani-inspire. Lakini mtu ambaye anajitambua, ameshajifahamu na anajua yeye anataka kuelekea wapi, rarely makes such excuses.
Na pia we like to outsource consequences of our decision making to role models.
Outsourcing.
Kwa sababu unajua one of the hardest thing in life, I say every day, is making decisions. So sometimes we don't want to make decisions, so we outsource decision making to role models and mentors. You know, like I'm a mentor. Ili wewe ndio nifanye mimi maamuzi.
Ikibumba
Ili wewe
you advise what the best. So we don't want to take responsibility
responsibility. So with that you create excuse. So kwa mfano, if you know kabisa wewe kufundishwa hiyo na baba, and it happens, not our fathers are not perfect. They're human beings. So then ambapo mimi sikufundishwa, unajua kujua ukubwa. Kwa sababu unajua kufundishwa, basi chukua jitihada, nenda kajifundishe. But you can't keep on saying kwamba mimi sikufundishwa. Nenda kajifundishe, nenda katafute msaada wa hicho kitu ambacho umejua, because then knowing kwamba hujafundishwa, which means that's 50% towards solving the problem.
Exactly.
So then go seek for help for you to learn that thing. Lakini it's very easier making excuses. It's very easier blaming our parents, giving them the responsibility kwamba this is what they're supposed to do, like they didn't do it.
Me, I'm gonna say kila siku, if you know better, then you do better.
Yeah.
Now, probably some of our parents didn't know better, and probably na mimi kama parent now, inawezekana pia kuna vitu vingine sijui. Probably mtoto wangu akiwa huko juu, I just hope atakuwa na akili za kusema mshio ingaje alizingua, lakini he tried.
Yes.
You know,
kabisa.
Like how I say, that's all I hope. Mshio kuna vitu alizingua, lakini he tried, and that hicho mimi ambacho najaribu kuja kuona huko mbele.
And I think with life, that's the greatest reward we'll ever get. Wow, kwa sababu mimi si mshauri zingua, lakini ile ulijitahidi mwanangu. You know that? Because at that time nothing else makes sense. Nothing else makes sense. So we want to outsource responsibilities to others.
I'm laughing at the word because as funny as it is true. It is very true.
It's very easy to outsource.
It is. We put blames on everybody else but us.
Yes. So
you know,
and also you see there's one of the biggest problems in terms of role models, and this is a worldwide problem. Even in the US and the UK, and media, for example, gives a very good platform for people who actually are not supposed to be given that platform. And to make things worse, social media has even enabled that to be very much more easier. So we end up having kids who don't get enough content to inspire them. Then from final, you rarely have kids saying, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a professor. People want to be Nicki Minaj, even on top of Kim K. And the bad things about all these people that are famous is that they can only be one.
Yeah, you cannot have two Kim Kardashians.
Yes, you can talk.
You cannot have two Kanye West.
You cannot have two Kanye West. So lakini sasa kingine ni kwamba kibaya kuko chote ni kwamba hata sisi ambao tuna consume ile content we like Kim K.
We love Kim K.
Exactly. So it's a representation of what we like.
Yeah.
And the media keeps feeding us because we enjoy that content.
Yeah.
But rather, what are we then doing to inspire the next generation of what kind of other things that they could actually achieve? Sababu shida yangu kwamba sio kwamba Kim K ni mtu mbaya, ni kwamba what are the chances of me being Kim K?
Yeah.
You know, the chances are zero. It's so are we putting nakumbuka there's one day tulikuwa tunaongelea nini kwamba why are we not amplifying mamalishe ambao wanafanya mamalishe miaka 10 wanasomesha watoto wanatoka shule, kwenda business, wana kimgawa kidogo. Why are we not amplifying that? Kwa sababu kuna kama wale milioni 3 milioni 4 ambao story kama ile kweli inaweza ikawasaidia watu wengine wengi. Yaani kwa mfano mimi kukwambia kwamba unajua you can be me, nitakuwa na mdanganya. There's so many factors huko 15 years ago that was done ambao vingine hata mimi sijui. But there's practical examples, people who are actually doing great things, ni vidogo lakini vinafanya na watu wengi ambao kama vikiwa amplified vinawasaidia watu wengi zaidi. Yes. So I think there's also a problem with hizo role models. Tumechanganya watu wenye pesa, watu wenye umaarufu kwamba ni watu ambao ni role models wetu. Alafu tumesahau watu ambao wako kwenye jamii ambapo mama ambao watakayosema yanafanya kazi.
Yanafanya kazi.
But it is us to blame also because we enjoy our watu ambao wanakuwa.
Nilikuwa nasoma kitabu cha The Audacity of Hope.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And Barack Obama said, I wish America had more engineers than lawyers. Na akasema, not everybody can be Lil Wayne. No, but because of the same thing.
Yes.
The same thing, kwamba kila mtu alikuwa anaona kwamba it's easier kuwa Lil Wayne kuliko kwenda kusoma na kuwa engineer. Ingawa you have bigger chance of kuwa engineer kuliko kuwa Lil Wayne.
Yes.
And I think in the same case ambayo tukileta hapa Tanzania kwa celebrities ambazo na siku hizi kuna celebs.
Yes.
Apparently if you have few followers on Twitter, you are a Twitter celebrity, so unaitwa celeb. I don't even know you umetoka wapi, but it is what it is. Na hivi vitu vina impact, vina influence watu.
Yeah.
Vina impact, vina influence watu. Na ndio maana we thought it was really important kuongea kuhusiana na swala role model, because people are not having what I call tangible conversations, you know? Honest conversations in terms of, yeah, I went through that, so don't do that, you know? It didn't work for me. So na hiyo njia ndio kwa kuna changamoto hizi na hizi, so I don't think that's the best way ya kupita. I think we should try something else. We do not have this kind of conversation either on one or one-to-one basis, or even kwenye social media. Na ndio maana nikasema maybe that is another reason that I'm thinking as a man, a lot of men either tunalalamika au we feel like we have a lot of shortcomings, au hata tunalalamika kwamba tunaona kama jamii inatu pressurize na kuweka too much expectations on us because of that as well.
Yes, there's too much expectation of men succeeding. Kwa sababu mifano yote ya wanaume ni wanaume wanaofanya vizuri.
Ukitoka mwanaume hajafanya, ukuta mfano mwanaume hajafanya vizuri unalaumiwa. Usiwe kama yule.
Na hata aliyofanikiwa anaambia that is expected out of it kufanikiwa. Like what's a surprise?
Should you be surprised that you're a man and you're successful?
And successful? I mean, why are you celebrating? What? Kwa hiyo? It's sad, but it's true. Yeah, so it's very sad. So at the end of the day, my friend calls, he says men like to do big competition. Meaning we compete on things that are irrelevant. It's because consistent success has to be, you have to get affirmations of success from your fellow men. And the opposite side will say, it's expected out of you to succeed. You're a man at your family level. Bro, mbona nani anafanya hivi?
Unataka anajenga. Unataka nini?
Unataka kununua gari. Wewe unafanya nini? With our Chaga migration,
December kuna watu wangu wananiambia kama hajafanya kitu because I think about you spend the whole year in Dar es Salaam. What do you do?
What are you doing? So the pressure is constantly there, and this also impacts our confidence in terms of things you do, women you even approach. Like ushaona mtu anamwona mwanamke then tayari anasema ile sio level yako. Yeah. And that is your judgment on how deep your pocket is. Like, okay, simwezi.
Au yule na mudu.
So it is embedded into how we function. So that there's a constant battle for us to succeed. And not because to succeed is the pinnacle, that to succeed is the norm. So at the end of the day, it is little about failure, about struggles that we share. So I would say, instead of even sharing success stories, let's share things that we have done that have failed. Because at least with that, there's something that we can learn. So because there's so many stories of failure, and because talking about it also keeps you kidogo inakusaidia. So how are we talking about failure, and what can we learn from failure za wanaume wenzetu?
Tutafanya tuwadharau. Tutafanya tuwadharau na wenzetu.
Exactly, yes.
Mike, you failed at this.
Hata hicho tu
umeshinda.
Kabisa. Because another bad example, if ukeka conversation na wanawake watano talking about, let's say, their sex experience, they'll tell you how horrible we are. Ukeka wanaume watano, we are all great. Sisi tuko vizuri. So you would then find so in this society of ours, even that part is one of the most affected parts in our life. Sisi ndo kwanza kutumia madawa kuongeza nguvu at a very 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 young age. Kwa sababu ile conversation pale mezani unakuta out of 5, 3 wana matatizo, and then umesikia stories zako wewe. They're like,
Kaenda kutafuta mkongo.
Kabisa. So it's the same when we talk about success kwenye maisha. Sibana nipiga deal bana. Yaani kushukutwa namaliza. Pigisha round kidogo hapo. So then that becomes like, that is what you're supposed to do. So in terms of role models, it really affects even, and I would say, since we like to outsource these things to other people, maybe the best we could do, or the way to change this, is for us, others, to become better coaches, not even role models, coaches to our kids, and then they'll choose if they like us or they don't.
I agree with that. Kwa sababu ukiangalia the generation that unaweza ukai-influence sasa hivi, sio wakina Michael.
Si kama kupotea tumeshapotea.
No, there's always hope.
I thought tumekata tamaa.
Hapana, there's always hope, lakini it's much harder. Unajua ni ngumu zaidi kwa mtu ambaye let's say ameshafika miaka past their 20s kuanza kuangalia role model au kuwa influenced easily. Kwa sababu hapo yani concrete those crucial years zimeshakuwa yani established. Kwa sababu personality yako, the way you approach life, is all of that happens in the span of 6 years of your life. So those crucial times, hata muda mwingine 3 years, those early 3 years of your life ndo muhimu zaidi. So younger age, that's when unaanza kumshape sasa mwanamke atakuwaje, atakuwa mtu aina gani, how they will handle pressures, how they will handle stresses, and etc. So hapo unamu-equip. Basically kama ukiongelea programming, that's where you set the programming. And then the rest is just tapping instructions, the program feeds you what is already there. So ni rahisi zaidi to influence how a man or woman will turn out when they're exposed to good coaches, exposed to different options at an early age. They are taught how to manage their emotions. Hizi stereotypes wanazo sasa hivi, kule ukianza dismantle, ndo watakuwa sasa watoto au wanakuwa sasa wanaume ambao hii mambo ya I cannot talk about my failures inakwisha, kwa sababu from an early age ameruhusiwa hiyo space. Ukisikiliza sasa hivi how mothers, fathers speak to their kids, na zaidi wakina mama, mtoto wa kiume akilia, hata mwenye miaka 3 hata miaka 4 atamwambia usilie, wanaume hawalii, unatakiwa uwe strong. And that messaging ni throughout their childhood, kwamba dada zako wataolewa, wataondoka, they will be cared for na waume zao. Wewe utaoa, utamleta mke wako hapa, you care for the wife, for her family sometimes, and for us. So inabidi uwe more responsible. So from an early age unapata hizo messaging ambazo achana na emotions, achana na your dreams. You must just find a way to be successful. Keep your issues to yourself. If you cannot resolve them, find a way. There is no it's okay if you cannot resolve them. You must find a way to resolve them. All of that ni kwa sababu ya messaging zote alizopata kutoka utotoni. As a parent, huanza sasa hivi kumodel kuwa coach of these healthy behaviors kwa mtoto wako wa kiume na kuvunja hizo stereotypes. Nyumbani kwako, zinaanza nyumbani. Nyumbani unaweza mkakaa mkaongelea, okay, leo today tumefanya mablanda gani ndani, and problem solving and looking at what can we learn from these mistakes we've made. Inamfundisha mtoto hata akiwa mkubwa anafanya mistake, anaona okay, these are the hapa na hapa ndo nimekosea na naweza nikarekebisha hivi for next time. Lakini wengi wetu we are very averse to failure kwa sababu we see it as failure. We're not looking at it as this is an opportunity for me to learn for next time. Tunaangalia tu hapa nimekosea, I'm a failure. And then tuna reinforce the message. So ni muhimu sana as parents kuanza kuwa coaches and being a conscious parent. Kwa sababu wazazi wengi they are very unconscious. Parenting style yao ni kwa sababu mimi nimelelewa hivi na nimepitia haya, and so hata hawafikiri. You can't even blame them. Haufikiri. It's not something that's conscious. Ni wetu you just deal that hand that you are also dealt. Kabla ya kuzaa mimi nafikiri kila mtu inabidi aanze apige bonge la reflection, aone haya ni mapungufu ya wazazi wangu. This is what I can learn from mapungufu yao. Haya ni affect mimi hivi. So mimi sitaki mtoto wangu naye ya mdhuru yalivyonidhuru mimi. And so hapo ndo unaanza conscious parenting. Kwa sababu unajua this is what I learned from my parents that really helped me, shaped me to be who I am. Haya mapungufu yao yamenipa mimi changamoto fulani ambazo you can easily avoid. Kwa sababu watu wazima wengi they are in therapy because of the blunders of their parents.
Yeah.
From childhood. And so rather than, and therapy is expensive. So if you can avoid that for your child, why not?
Yeah.
Lakini kwa mtu mzima inabidi ndio you need to take the initiative. Kwa sababu mtoto unaweza ukamprogram, it's a clean slate. Unamcode according to how you want to code them. And if you're conscious about it, you can make a fine human being who will have his issues, lakini at least kutakuwa kuna few bugs. Lakini kwa mtu mzima
baggage sio nzito sana.
Kwa mtu mzima ambaye umeshapata hiyo coding, hiyo programming, unafika kuna bugs nyingi, sasa inakuwa ni ngumu kubadilisha tabia zako just like that. It's easy to do that for a child. Na pia inahitaji a lot of initiative kutoka kwako wewe mwenyewe. Unabidi uamue kwamba mimi hivi na hizi tabia zangu naona haziko in line with my values and for who I want to be. And so unachukua that initiative kwa sababu hamna mtu yeyote hata hii podcast iweze kubadilisha kama wewe utaka.
Mike, kuna kitu tulizungumza mwanzo unasema kwamba the upbringing had an impact on you.
Yes.
Abolition unaweza kuzungumzia baadaye. How did that upbringing, how did it impact you as a man now?
No, so very much. Kwa sababu so with that being said, which means then I started hanging out with very old people at a very young age. So by the time I remember I had a discussion using the jina la baba. My dad used to like to be called Mushi. So Mushi is his first name. So you know, address with his first name, Mushi.
Mpaka leo.
Package.
So hamna baba ni Mushi.
So then I had to learn to have a conversation with very older people at a very young age, and also to fit in that table when they're discussing. And then to listen to me and to agree to my way of thinking. So me persuading people has started that long. So leo hii sijui naneka kwenye meza gani, I have an opinion, I will carry it out very confidently and not think about anybody that is there. My level of confidence of kuamini ndoto zangu is just way. The way I see life, I look at things, it's different because then kipindi hicho unakaa na watu wazima unaongea kitu unakwambia each ni hivi. And the next time you're like no, next time I'll come out, I'll be better. So yes, there's so many things positive and negative ambazo zimekuwa affected na yeye ambapo leo hii I would say kabla nilikuwa sijui, because then during my teenagehood you were struggling to fit in the teenagers and then you couldn't.
Correct, yeah.
Because then those are not people. There's nothing.
I don't know how they're gonna feel about this. No, I get it. I'm just saying.
So there's a very big level of impact that it has done to me. Leo hii kiasi kwamba okay, you ask me today, of course miaka ile nilalamika kwa sababu shule na nini hivyo, parents bibi babu wote walalamika. Then you ask me today, was it a good decision?
It worked out for the better.
It worked out for the better. So those are the positive parts. So the negative parts in combat. So when you guys will stay, you'll talk about your secondary school years, your dramas, your high school. I have none.
Yeah.
So what
you didn't go to high school, no? At all?
Mimi nilifanya elimu ya watu wazima tena uko baadaye kabisa 2010 sijui. No, mimi sina. So you can talk to me about how your secondary school years, sijui mcheza basket, sijui I'm like, no, I was busy doing things. That's time. So kuna baadhi ya point katika maisha, me and you can never have those stories to life. I can't relate. So ndio. Na hayo kuna vitu ambavyo mimi nikiongea na wewe you can't relate as well.
Yeah.
So maybe I think maybe the trigger about this was the Jakaki got the picture.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so I was into website 2005. So I made the campaign website for Kikwete. I volunteer. I was busy. I was at home. I had time. I knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. It's because I said I was hanging up with all the people. So I knew Kasasela back then, Kasasela evil.
Yeah.
So I met, of course, there were some few problems. Baadaye, ikajulikana. No, I want to meet these kids. So maybe I've met the president there. Maybe right now, meeting president does not fascinate me that much. And like, okay, there should be more important things to do. Or maybe if you do it, this is how it should be. It should be done next time. Or there's so many things that I've experienced then because of this life that makes me see things different now.
Have you tried to unpack any of these things?
Yes, I've done. I think I've given you a brief when I was here. Yes, so I've had issues. I've had mental issues. Yes. So yes, I've done mental therapy sessions. Of course, therapy is very expensive, guys. For a year and some few months.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's worth every penny, and make sure that it's worth it. We even prepay our sessions just for us to relieve them when
the VIP treatment.
When we see
anytime
them.
you feel like it.
Yeah. So because so being like this as well, inakufanya in accepting uwe rahisi wewe kunyoshewa mkono kwamba, because then you become different. And then you struggle fitting in. Like, mbona siko kama Michael. Because then there's few mics. So there's positive and negative reaction into the same upbringing.
Mike, I want to ask you this. Nakumbuka nilivyosema kwamba we need to get you on the podcast. We was like, yeah, get him. Dalili. So in my mind, I was like, a lot of people look up to you, especially vijana. Na naonaga namna ambavyo na engage na watu especially kwenye social media na nini. You're one of those people ambao people talk to you respectfully, because come on, let's face it, social media is crazy. It's chaos. Unaweza kuwa unabishana mtu kumbe mtoto wa form 2 ana Twitter account yake mnabishana back and forth. You know, like people engage with you respectfully. So do you get people who come up to you and wanakuambia, man, we look up to you, you're a role model, you influence us, and then how do you talk to those people?
Because I don't have people coming up.
They don't come up to you?
No.
Just so you know, I look up to you.
So what? You look up to me? You don't come up to me?
Yeah.
Just to make you feel good.
I don't. And I rarely. Kabisa. Rarely. I think the reason has been also, of course, the you see me, but you don't know me. So maybe, as I said, maybe the trigger was that picture. And like, this guy was, and that was 15 years ago, by the way. Like, this guy was this year having this kind of picture. What happened? It's because those are things that kabla atakupost, you just feel indifferent. But for sana, so unaviacha. Because the problem has always been with me. For example, trying to fit in, and then you realize, no, it's not. It shouldn't. That shouldn't be the goal. You're okay. You evolve. Kwa hiyo, so because people know less about that history,
They know more about the other history.
They know more about the other history, which they cannot comprehend even in the jazaje. So inabaki. So maybe if I was that vocal about the history, maybe ningekuwa napata hizo, no, I admire you, like, no, I rarely kabisa.
Okay, guys, kwa ambao mnasikiliza sasa, I'm just giving you free advice. Reach out to Mike. He knows stuff, and he knows people as well. Not only stuff, he knows people as well. So you know, who knows? You might meet him, then he knows somebody who might know somebody who might advise you, you know, on unachotaka kufanya. As a man, do you think sasa hivi tukirudi kwenye simple models in social media, role models na vitu kama, do you think right now tuna force watu kwa role models because mtu juzi alimwita Salim al-Hassas role model wake, na Salim being Salim akatoa majibu yake sasa hivi akasema role model wako atakuwa Mungu. Unaona bwana, sio mimi. So this, do you think right now we are holding to anything ambacho kinaweza ikatupa hope because of how the situation is? And this is for Nadia. So do you feel like at the moment as men we're just struggling, of course there's kind of binadamu, lakini we're just struggling to find anybody or anything ambacho kinaweza kikatupa mwanga kwamba that's how it should be, or that's the way to go, or yule ndo mtu ambaye bitu mwangalie?
Well, just I have a friend of mine into Mwita calls me Robodo. So tunatana use that as our names. So yes, so in America nitasema kwamba we miss the American story. Tunakosa, we are there's a vacuum over tunasema maskini ambao amekuja kufanikiwa akawa tajiri and living the American dream. So there's a vacuum of that story missing.
Chicken.
Exactly.
I've been mkata.
So there's a missing pana ombwe la hope and inspirational stories that people could identify with. For Tanzania right now, if you ask me. So at the end of the day, people are finding the little bit that is available to hold on to, because it gives people hope that it's possible. It makes life bearable. Kwamba if we ameweza na mimi ngoja nijitahidi nitaweza. So at the end of the day, people are looking for something to hold on to. And yes, okay, kuta salili watamshika. Okay, kuta maruti pia watashika. It's because they want that. So panakosekana constant stories of telling people that, you know, you can work it out. So as you said, bahati mbaya, bahati nzuri, kama mimi, I've passed that stage. So I have role models for different things. Then nisha classify if I need investing, if I need life, if I need friendship, uyo. So kutokana na what I want to learn, I find a person that is good at. By the way, I'm a big fan of Beyonce.
You're a beehive.
But let me tell you why.
You're a beehive.
But let me tell you why. So my dad,
this is called embracing your masculinity. I would say.
No.
Admitting you're a fan of Beyonce.
Kabisa, no.
It's a very confident man.
Kabisa, don't. My dad, Sabadi, he gave us, I think, these two documentaries that we have watched very well. One is about Michael Jackson, and there's one about Beyonce as well, and Serena Williams. And there's two things common with all those three people. Unajua, maybe they're very strong father figures. Yes, so we had documentaries to work nazo, because then at the same time our dad was very harsh. It was just, you can't even know. So I think it just kupa kitu cha kutufanya tuone kama vile, you know, these big people also had father.
And look how they turned out.
Look how they turned out. They turned out really good. You know?
Smart man.
So
Easy way of explaining.
Easy way of
explaining. If you guys don't understand me, then watch this.
Let's watch this.
Oh, wow.
So I have so I know Michael Jackson very well. I know Beyonce, of course, very well. I've listened to his albums. I've listened to his stories. Religiously. No, because I didn't listen kwenye nyimbo to a person. But then nilikuja kuchange context mwenyewe sasa. Ni subscribe to Forbes Africa. So I've read a lot of 3-4 years South Africa. Ili kupata kitu ambacho I can contextualize with, because zamani kuna context. Sasa hivi some that works here. Kwa hiyo hata kina mimi we have gone through that, looking for role models of things, people that do things that you can okay he kwa mfano Dangote is a very good, I'm a very good fan of.
I thought you were going to say friend.
Fan, not friend.
Dangote the billionaire.
Yeah, I'm a very good fan.
Mike.
Maybe I've watched every interview, have watched every article.
By the way, Dangote the billionaire.
Dangote the billionaire.
Dangote.
No. Dangote should hire me to teach him about the Dangote.
Chibu Dangote ni Diamond Platinum. Hapo tunatoka about Dangote the billionaire.
Yeah, so we are constantly looking for people to make to validate what we aspire to be.
Wow.
So I am constantly looking for that as well. So I've gone through several layers to a point where now I'm like okay, comfortable. I'm like okay, sihitaji mtu mmoja mwenye kunisaidia kila kitu. I can just break down things that I want. Nitafute okay sawa. If I want podcasting, when nitafute Michael. Then Michael, me and you, I'll idolize you with your podcasting.
Yeah.
You have a mic, you have this, you receive us, you have Nini, you have any. I'll idolize everything about this, and then I can cancel out everything else about you.
That's very important.
Sindio? Sasa wewe unataka kumchukua Michael na kila kitu
na mapungufu yake na mabaya yake
yote. Kwa hiyo yes, there's a lack of that. There's a lack of hawa watu kupata hizo taarifa. Maybe we had sources, YouTube utaingia unaangalia, lakini hawa wengine pia wanahitaji vitu ambavyo they can contextualize kwa mazingira ya kwao. So how we talking about natoa mfano mama ntilia ambaye ameanza kupika pale Mwenge, sasa hivi ana frame because mama ntilia kama wako mamilioni. And that's a story somebody can hold on to. Kwamba inafanyaje? Inawezekana. Vitu ambavyo yeye atakwambia alifanya ambavyo wewe you have access to. Sasa wewe leo hii how do you have access to Forbes magazine 15 years ago? You know, it's impossible. Me telling you you could be me. How do you have access to computer when you're like 8? Kwa hiyo there's a couple of things that we publish a lot that people cannot imitate, cannot contextualize being them. I mean, there is no way atakuwa, and there's no mtu anaweza kaja kitu pale. Kwa hiyo watu wakishindwa wanashikilia mambo yanapatikana. So with men, then it becomes even 20 times much more bigger problem because then you are expected to succeed. Now wanawake watapata kivyao, watapewa wewe hujaoa, hujazaa, mwangalie wenzako na familia nzuri. They have their own.
They have their own struggles.
They have their own struggles. So with us, so who is that constant person that you're looking to that has practical I find practical ambao wewe unaweza ukaiga. I think that is what is missing, and ndio maana we hold on to our Instagram celebrities because at least watatolesha maisha yao, nyumba yao na nini,
and sometimes it's not real. Most of the time
it is matter because what we want is to be inspired. So I can make that real if kama inawezekana. So my work is to make it real. We're not looking for real or not real. We're looking for something to visualize, to dream. So Instagram helps us to dream very well. It does.
Which is very important because you need to start with a vision.
Yes.
Now visualizing is a really great tool. We inspire to take action.
Yeah. Now do you think also we hold on to those things because of the same reasons that Mike amesema? Kama to anything ambacho kinafaa kwa sababu.
Yes, but also I don't think we're just holding on to. I think kama like what Mike said, ni kwamba we are looking for a source of hope. Unajua, this is why faith and religion works very well. It gives us hope. And that's the same thing with role models. It's tunamwangalia, tunaona huyu amepitia changamoto fulani, maisha yake amefika fulani, amejiweka, amejiposition vizuri. So kama mtu anamwangalia Salima, anaona okay, Salima ameanzia, na if they listen to the episode with Salima, anajua changamoto Salima anazozipitia. And so if he managed to go through this, na muda mwingine not that I want to copy paste your life, it's kwamba nataka nipate the same drive motivation na mimi kupitia hizo changamoto zangu kama ulizopitia na ukatokea upande wa pili, you know, well, because kuna watu wengi wanatokea upande wa pili wengine they end their lives and they end up abusing substances. Unajua wewe tunapoteza maisha yetu, and when I say kupoteza maisha sio tu physically but also we lose our sight of our goals, we lose sight of ourselves. That too ni kupoteza maisha yako. So sidhani kama ni watu wana just grabbing onto things, ni kwamba mtu ambaye who actually does do that ni ameshaji, yani at least somewhere within them is wanting to do better, you know, kwa sababu mtu ambaye hajisumbui kuangalia huyu naweza nikamwangalia Mike and get inspired by Mike, huyo mtu bado haja identify na vision yake huko yake, hataki kujiimprove, maybe ana tools zake zingine, you know. So I wouldn't say just grabbing onto things, and I wouldn't say, because for me it sounded like it's a bad thing. So let's grab onto these lifelines that we're seeing. So tunafuata tu a role model blindly. Angalia, okay, huyu role model wangu amepitia changamoto gani, how ethic yake, work ethic kapitia njia gani kufika alipo. Sometimes it's not about becoming Kim Kardashian. It's about embodying perhaps the work ethic that built Kim Kardashian. Yeah. So for me, I think we must grab, but we must grab consciously.
So I think we can. I would like to maybe propose some sort of not a solution, but a step forward on how do we move forward. So I think ukiangalia, just like how we meet, you know, for football matches, we plan. So maybe we can start a tradition. How are we meeting to discuss things? Not because we have solutions, but because we have that conversation. Because the time is the same, matumizi tu ni tofauti. Maybe by talking around it, we can find something hapo katikati. Just as how we know Manchester alifunga mwaka gani mwaka 2013 dakika 24. We can start having this conversation. Same setting, but can we have a reservation of a bar? And as men, and then we can just share experience. And then that could be a day with our drinks, and then it's done. So, because we don't talk about these things. We meet, we talk about every kind of football player, aliouzwa leo, aliofanya nini, lakini we really talk things that actually matter. So I think, how do we create that culture of...
Yeah, I gotta give props to this kid. Anaitwa Madenge on Twitter, roll himself. Saturday ilikuwa ni World Mental Health Day. So yeye alichofanya, alianzisha forum nadhani inaitwa nisahau jina, ilikuwa hashtag kabisa, something about vijana, ambapo ilikuwa driven based on conversation katika kuhusu suicide on Twitter a couple weeks ago. Kwa Saturday ichofanya ilikutanisha vijana wengi walikuwa kiume, hapo hakika wale watano lakini wengi walikuwa kiume, and they were actually having conversation kuhusiana na mambo ya mental health. Na sio mbali msasani club tu. And then I showed up nikakuta wa church na nini, but I really like the setting and the fact kwamba somebody took the initiative na people kuonyesha kwamba there is a need, people actually showed up. Watu wamepanda mabasi, wametoka huko walikotoka, mpanda daladala, wakafika pale, they just had that conversation. Baada hapo kila mtu akaondoka akasema, you know what, kuna kitu ambacho tumepata. And for me ilionyesha kwamba there is actually a need ya kuwa na more of those things, there is a setting. So
because I think with women one advantage, wao wanaongea vitu kwenye vikoba, wanaongea kwenye saluni, women discuss all these things. Maybe not with solution, but they talk about it. They share experiences. Sisi we discuss and talk about football. Kwa hiyo, how do we make, because these things works in an environment where there's trust, and that has to be created. So maybe what's your 5 people that kipiga roko yenu once a month, that is what you do. So after some time, there's so much of you exchanged that you can take the next step. So how to make this conversation to a very, and isiaribu sana utaratibu, because the moment we make it too formal, we only do it once, and then we disappear. How do we embed it into existing life?
And make it normal. And then normalize it.
And normalizing it. Okay, you might tukutane bana. we'll talk about this and then we'll talk about football. This is what I would say, because it's a different ball game to every man, and everybody has its struggles, and there's no one piece of advice that can solve everybody's struggle. So, but we can learn from each other.
We need to normalize this, because at the end of the day, it starts with us. Like, again, the podcast, we could be saying things, all the guests could be giving a specific advice, but mwisho wa siku ni, what are we doing on the ground? Kwa sababu you can't go create these conversations and invite people. We, the listeners have to take that initiative and say, my friend group tutakaa chini. And as we talk about soccer, somewhere in between I'll bring up about, this is the changamoto ambazo nilikuwa nazo na mtoto wangu. Hata kwa shule.
Yeah.
And then you see kwamba, kumbe I'm not alone. Na mwenzio comes up and says, yo, my child also pay in force kwenda boarding or whatever, So, unaona kwamba one, we're not alone in our struggles. After, mnapata bounce off ideas. Na muda mwingine just speaking about your problem out loud. When you trigger solutions in your head.
Well, this is it. I really sina kingine kitu cha kuongea. I think it has been a great conversation. Mike, thank you for coming through, my guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's najua tumekurupua, but thank you for making time. Ya kuja Masaki kwenye ofisi ya Nadia. Masaki Oyster Bay, kuja Oyster Bay kwenye ofisi ya Nadia na AC na nini on a public holiday. Yeah. We appreciate you for that.
A city lockdown.
After a city lockdown, after your lockdown wakati wa corona, lakini mvoje na imetunyosha. So yeah, thank you for coming through, Mike. Now, I really don't have anything else to add here. Yeah, this is it. Kama unataka kumfuatilia Mike is on Twitter, Mike Mushi. Mike Mushi. Even Mike, you're on Instagram too. You post pictures, eh?
Not sure. That's what I posted like 2-3 years ago.
Mike is much anaongea zaidi on Twitter, at least that's what I say. So you can engage with him there, kuwa na conversation nyingi zaidi ambazo nataka kuwa nazo. With Nadia, you already know Mind Matters TZ, Instagram and Twitter. And then there's a link inakupeleka moja kwa moja kwenye website. People keep asking me to know my number, Nadia. Guys, I said this on episode 1. I'm not going to give out her number. Kuna number ipo kwenye website yake. So fellas, no. I'm not going to give out her number. Mpaka siku atakapoamua yeye mwenyewe kutoa namba yake. But yeah, check us out here at Made the Podcast on Instagram and on Twitter. Mimi naitwa Michael Baruti. Till next time, thank you for listening and peace.
Men, the podcast.